I would like to make my question to use brands, and I don't know if you guys are informed that in Brazil we have more than 500 supremacist cells, and this is directly connected with the free speech, because even the government is asking the social medias, Telegram and stuff, to give the information, and they are saying they are not going to give the information because of free speech. So I really would like to know what you think about it. For example, me, I have 5 death threats in Brazil, so that's the reason that I cannot come back because of exactly that groups. Thank you so much.
Ilse.
Well, I will follow up on also linking it to Dunya's answer, because I think that the whole point of having a global system and then regional systems is, of course, that it has to apply equally. So what we are, and we as the High Commissioner's Office, what we're doing is, of course, also based on a global mandate of monitoring on human rights, are very clearly following the situations and seeing where also the interaction can be prompted to move towards a more, to really taking on the cases that are the threats to freedom of expression and that has this very real risk and threat to journalists. And by the way, I wanted to mention actually one, you know it all probably, but the shocking when we're talking about impunity as well, we know that from all of the killings of journalists last year, only 14% of those actually led to any prosecutions. Just to illustrate of it's not, is the impunity in addition to actually having the threat and the situation as such. For us, the work we're doing as well, it also has a component of technical assistance and support and capacity in support of member states, because it's an issue, of course, of reflecting, analyzing the legislative framework, making sure that there's a justice framework, a criminal justice framework, but in general a framework that is appropriate both for the access to justice, but also that protects indeed the proactive responsibility to protect journalists along the lines of everything that we've been saying here. So I think there is obviously follow-up to be done, but making sure that we also don't lose sight of those individual cases across the world, as Dunya is saying, not just in some member states, but certainly to be followed up.
Thank you. Thank you for your questions. You want to interject?
Añadiría unas...
I would just add one more thing, just the remark regarding precisely member states. On many occasions what they do is to use the actual normative framework, the justice system, to legitimize positions which ultimately do not, they're outside the law, and the law is actually violated in the actual norm. So it is important from the Inter-American Commission, what we do as body is to assess and evaluate the content of those norms or proposed laws or the draft legislation that are proposed to the Parliament, so we can issue our opinion and give our opinion to the state as to what are the inter-American standards on that subject matter that's supposed to be regulated in order to legitimize a position that may not be legitimate. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
We promised you lots of high-level discussions, dynamic talks, and I think we've delivered on that.